Today, I'm standing on top of a mound overlooking a beautiful little town in Northamptonshire. This may just seem like grass and earth, but many years ago, this place was politically charged in Tudor England. It was a place where a queen was tried and executed, and her name was Mary, the Queen of Scots. So, welcome to Fotheringhay Castle. Mary Stuart was born in 1542. And at just 6 years old, she became Mary, the Queen of Scots. She ended up fleeing Scotland in 1568, hoping to gain protection from her cousin Elizabeth I. But when she got to England, she ended up getting imprisoned for 19 years. So following the discovery of the Badington Plot in 1586, a conspiracy was uncovered by Sir Francis Willingham, I think I got that right, intelligence network. And unfortunately, Mary was implicated through correspondence. So Mary was moved from Chartelay to right here at Fotheringhay Castle on the 25th of September 1586. So the stage was set for a trial unprecedented in English history. Mary's trial opened on the 14th of October 1586 in the Great Hall of Fotheringhay Castle. She was tried under the 1585 Act for the Queen's safety. Mary denied the court's authority to try her, arguing that as a crowned queen, she was not subject to English law, but the court rejected this argument. She was not only on trial for her life, but for the very principle of whether one monarch could judge another. On the 25th of October 1586, she was found guilty of treason. Elizabeth I hesitated before authorising the execution. She signed a death warrant on the 1st of February 1587. The warrant reached Fotheringhay Castle on the 7th of February 1587. So Mary was informed that she was going to die the following morning. So in her final hours, Mary spent her time in prayer, writing letters and writing her will. According to contemporary sources, Mary dressed very carefully for her execution. It was said that she wore black garments, but underneath it, she had a red petticoat. In the 16th century, red was associated with martyrdom. So she was making a final deliberate statement as she was walking to the scaffold. On the morning of the 8th of February 1587, a scaffold was erected in the Great Hall. Contemporary sources suggest that the hall had dark drapes hung with a raised platform ready for the execution. So Mary was sentenced to beheading, which was the main punishment for those committed of treason in English law. But the execution didn't go cleanly. Contemporary sources say that it took far more than one blow to complete the sentence. It's a very grim reminder to think that not even stately executions were clean. Historians frequently describe this as the first judicial execution of an anointed queen regent in European history. She was buried at Peterborough Cathedral in July 1587. In 1612, her son James I ordered her remains transferred to Westminster Abbey, where she lies today. The castle declined over decades after Mary's execution. But what's striking is this. One of the most important political executions in British history happened here. But yet within a few generations, the castle was pretty much almost gone. It was dismantled, it was reused, and almost completely forgotten to the landscape. History didn't just move on from this place, it was literally taken apart. And it's really sad to think that, because of how important this site was. It was partly dismantled during the English Civil War, but it was finally finished off in the 17th century. But at least the stone was reused locally, and you can actually still see it in the buildings today. But just because there's no more standing walls doesn't mean that there's no more evidence. In many medieval castles around the UK, archaeologists like Time Team use geological surveys to map what is hidden underneath the soil to give us an idea of how it looked. As you can kind of see, a very small amount of the wall has been preserved, and you can still see the little moat just behind me there. So that's all still here. It's just the vast majority of it is buried. And I guess the beauty about that is it's still preserved, and that's the important thing. So today there's barely anything left of Fotheringhay Castle. Just a very small fragment of the wall, the moat, and the mound that the castle used to set up on. So there's no great hall, and there's certainly no scaffold. But beneath this grass, once stood a castle that witnessed the trial and execution of a queen. an event that reshaped the policies of Britain and Europe. But what honestly makes me sad to think is that with the sheer weight of history that was once on this very spot, and it now looks like this. But just stop and think for a moment. I could be standing where Mary, the Queen of Scots once stood, or at least walked past. And that's kind of cool in itself. So that's a bonus in my book.
But before we leave Fotheringhay, I would like to acknowledge a lovely place. Right beside these historic ruins lies Castle Farm Campsite. It offers visitors the opportunity to stay overnight in one of England's most historic and peaceful landscapes. Watch the sunset over the castle mound, enjoy a wide range of local activities, and experience the quiet atmosphere of Fotheringhay for yourself. You'll find a link in the video description below.
So thank you very much for watching, everyone. Hopefully you enjoyed this little adventure today at Fotheringhay Castle. I certainly did. I spent more time talking to locals than I did recording the video. But it was still I thought it was still a good experience. So tell me, where do you think that I should go next? Hopefully you like and subscribe and even share. That would be fantastic, everyone. And even check out my Patreon page and check out any of the videos that you see up on your screen. That would be fantastic as well. Until next time, everyone.
Goodbye.
I'm already